Floating down the corridor calmly, their hands in their pockets, as many bandits were being forced to the ground by pure psychic power, the strange, hairless cat humanoid just floated past all the bandits, only paying any attention to their leader just up ahead. A Psychis resembles a humanoid, cat-like species with large bushy tails ending in a colorful, frayed tail end. They have tall, long ears, a ring around the back of their head that attaches their shoulders together, and glowing hands and feet. The Psychis were created by sphinxes as an attempt to create a humanoid race of cats similar to them. Their experiments to create powerful psychics and a highly magical race, while a success in some ways, were not a full success, as their experiments escaped their creators and brought themselves to the worlds. While the Psychics are few in numbers, they don't have a large society of just them. The Psychics each are highly psychically powerful, and with small communities of Psychics that do exist can function together like a well-oiled machine. So this is the art of a Psychis. This race was based off of loosely off of Mewtwo from Pokemon. Everyone should know what that is. It's an old thing. I hope that wasn't heard. So it's based off of Mewtwo. This is a Psychic. This is a Psychis. This is also the art that is used for. This same character is in the art that is used for the Channeler class art, because this is a character that I am trying to work into some of the lore of this, but it might actually be in a different book. I'll bring that up at the end of the video. Let's go ahead and get into the traits. The Psychis traits. As a Psychis, you gain a +1 to your intelligence, dexterity, and charisma score. Psychis reach maturity at around 30 years old, but they can live to be up to 600 years old. Psychis tend to lean towards neutral alignments, and Psychis are generally the same size as most humans, ranging from 5 to 7 feet tall. Your size is medium, and they have a base walking speed of 30 feet. Psychics have 60 feet of dark vision, where it's gray, and they also have a feature called Magic Hands, where you know the Mage Hand cantrip, and when you use the Mage Hand cantrip, you create 2 Mage Hands, and you can use them simultaneously. You may even use the Mage Hand cantrip to manipulate items, or even wield weapons, so long as they do not have the heavy property. Next up is Delicate Paws. You may cast the Featherfall, or you can cast the spells Featherfall and Pass Without Trace a number of times combined per day equal to your proficiency bonus. Furthermore, you are proficient in stealth. And then, the last feature the Psychis gets is Telekinetic. Psychics have a small base telekinetic abilities. They are able to hold 5 pounds of objects within. You are able to hold 5 pounds of objects within 15 feet of you. In addition, as a bonus action, you can target a creature within 30 feet. That creature must make a strength saving throw. The DC equals 8 plus your proficiency, plus either your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma modifier, your choice. If the creature fails, then it gets moved up to 10 feet in any direction of your choice. In addition, you are able to levitate yourself 1 foot into the air. This does not change your walking speed, and it still impedes the effects of possible tremor sense. So, that is the Psychis race, a Mewtwo-based psychic race that was created by sphinxes. I originally was trying to go for a full-on, like a humanoid sphinx, but it looked really weird, so I decided to go more of the Mewtwo route. But changing some of it up, as you can see as in the art. But with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the Spectrin. A great explosion slowly burns away as a figure floats through the fading cinders. Their white skin is marble, covered in long robes. As they reach their hand out, a spark of flame coming out of the sorcerer's hand as another fireball explodes nearby. The Spectrins are of average height, but have elegant features akin to elves. They have marble white skin, sometimes with cracks of other colors, just like the stone of marble. In addition, they commonly have golden lines naturally formed across their body. And lastly, the Spectrins also have short and stubby horns on top of their head. The Spectrins are a long, distant relative to the tiefling. Much like the Moon Riders, long ago. So like I said, the Moon Riders, like I said in the previous video, the Moon Riders were a variant of tieflings that evolved into Moon Riders. This is from my same campaign I built, where the Moon Riders and Spectrins, they were two different variations of tieflings from a very long time ago. Long ago, the Spectrins split off from tieflings, such as the Spectrins evolved over time through their close proximity to the magical surges of Arcana sources that gave them their natural ability to float at all times. The Spectrins are a race of strange humanoids capable of minor levitation. The Spectrins are most commonly known for their observant and academic natures. The Spectrins are both beings who don't care about most things, but also love the study of research as of late. Spectrins tend to fill roles in societies as researchers, teachers, arcane studiers, and magic practitioners. So this is the art of a Spectrin citizen wearing these robes. You see the white skin, the small little gold details, the short, stubby little horns at the top of their head, showing some of the features of they used to be tieflings at one point, but things have changed. But it's still, some of that features are still there with the horns faintly there still. So for Spectrin traits, for your ability score improvement, your intelligence increases by 2, and your dexterity, wisdom, or charisma score increases by 1. A Spectrin reaches maturity at about 20 years old and can live anywhere from 200 to 250 years. Most Spectrins are commonly of lawful good or neutral alignments. Spectrins average 5 to 6 feet in height. Your size is medium, and you have a base walking speed of 30 feet. Then getting the features, you have lunar sight, accustomed to observation under the night sky. You have superior vision in dark and dim conditions. You can see in dim light within 90 feet of you as if it were bright light, and in darkness as if it were dim light. You can't discern colors in darkness, only shades of blue, not gray. So it's almost like it is dark vision, but it's a little different. It's a little more range than the average dark vision, and you see blue instead of gray. Then after that, the next feature is levitation. All Spectrins have the ability to levitate naturally about 1 to 2 feet in the air. You are still affected by difficult terrain, and if you fall unconscious, your levitation ends and you land safely on the ground. While you aren't incapacitated, you can subtract up to 100 feet from a fall when calculating damage. For languages for the Spectrin, they know Common, Infernal, and one other language of your choice. And the final feature the Spectrins get is Spectrins studying. Choose any first level wizard spell thanks to many hours of studying. You can cast this spell once per day without expending a spell slot. You also know one cantrip of your choice from the wizard spell list, and intelligence is your spellcasting ability for these spells. So this is the Spectrin, the long distance relatives to tieflings, much like the Moon Riders are long distant relatives to the tieflings. While the Moon Riders kept the colorful skin options and possible wings from the feral tieflings, the Spectrin kept the horns and the little bit more akin to magic. So instead of natural, it's more of that you just have an akin to want to study, and that studying brings out this magic. So a little more akin to wizards, when the Moon Riders were more akin to, when tieflings are more akin to be sorcerers. So like I was saying previously, during the Psikis part, when I was talking about having that character being a thing, I'm in the end stages of this book, and I'm not going to be adding in a lot of information about Moda. There will be some base information about the multiverse and a little bit of base information about Moda, but I do plan to release a book. Once I'm done with this book, I'm gonna start working on another book that's all just based on Moda, this mysterious force, that mysterious location that works on keeping people who have ill intentions when traveling through the multiverse, and works on getting them out of where they're not supposed to be and throwing them back into either their dimension or eliminating them entirely. I know this is going to kind of sound like, Spider Society from Across the Spider-Verse. I had this idea for Moda before. I had this Moda idea before the movie came out, but I was not super into the comics, so I guess the comics kind of did it first, if they did it in the comics. But I I did it before I started working on this Moda thing before the movie came out. I had this idea for Moda like a year ago at this point. But we're gonna have a whole different book on that, on the lore of a bunch of heavy lore of the multiverse, a lot of important characters in Mota, and a lot of important things, and possibly even some other little mini one shots that you could be built in through this Mota book. We'll see how that goes when it gets there. It's a vague idea right now, but for now, our next video is going to be the last two races in this book. We're getting there finally, and then the video after that will be the four lineage. I'll do all four lineages in one video, but the next two races are the Treckle, which is a race of animal, it's kind of half animal, half humans. And then there is the Valar, which we mentioned previously. This is the one that is based off of the Rito. They are a bird-like race, and they, instead of arms, they have wings, which allows them to fly, but while they're flying, they can't use their arms for any weapons or somatic components. But there is a workaround for that. We're going to get to that when we get to that video. But for now, I think that's a great place to end off this video for now. We're used to being cut off. I feel like it's not going to cut off this time. But I do want to send out another video in the next day or two, but I'm going to have family in town for the weekend, so we'll probably have to wait till next week for this next one. So I apologize for that. It is what it is. We do have my dog back there. Hi, Penny. Penny. Oh, she said hi. I know, I'm sorry I woke you up. You can go back to bed.